You have your equipment, you have your cello, and you're ready to get started. Well, how do you hold the cello? That's what we're going to be covering today. There isn't one singular way to hold the cello. You may have seen people hold the cello like a guitar, or maybe you've seen someone stand with a strap and play like that. There isn't one singular way to hold the cello. What I'm going to show you is a pretty traditional approach and a pretty comfortable and common way to hold the cello. Once we have our cello out of our case and we're ready to place it on our lap like this, we want to be aware of our surroundings because we don't want to bump the cello on a wall or anything around us. So be aware of your surroundings as you place your cello on your lap. We are going to loosen this part of the end pin right here. There should be a knob here, and you can loosen it and extend this end pin out. We're going to extend it all the way just to see how far it goes. And then we're going to maybe go midway. And if you're on hardwood floor and you have a rock stop, you'll want to place that rock stop maybe 3 feet in front of you and kind of see how that is. You might be playing around with that, kind of moving it back and forth to see what's comfortable, but we're going to set our cello in front of us. One thing that I want to note is that you want to make sure you're in a good chair for playing the cello. You don't want your knees above your waist. You want your knees perpendicular or even slightly below your waist. So that's important that you have a good chair while you're playing the cello. We also want to make sure that we're sitting up straight. We want to have our back straight and our feet are flat on the floor. We want to have our legs open and place the cello in between our legs. Where we're looking here, this here for me is too low. If it were too high, it might look something like this, but we want it somewhere in the middle. So I'm going to extend the end pin so it will look something more like this. This part of the cello here, we want to have placed against, kind of leaning against our sternum, about our chest area. And we want the C peg, this is the C peg, we want that behind our left ear. We don't want it pressed against our left ear, but we want it behind our left ear. So one good way to tell that we're in a good position is to hug your cello. And I hug my cello by wrapping my arm across like this, my other arm like this, kind of leaning into my cello and swaying back and forth. This will tell you if you're in a good position. One thing that I want you to know is that this will change, this will shift when you learn how to draw your bow, when you learn how to raise your elbow up and place your hand on and play notes. These will shift. The angle at where you're placing it may shift, the height may shift, and everybody's body is different. What works for me may not work for you. So it's really just being aware of your body and finding what's comfortable for you. I want you to be aware of any tension that's in your body. We want to be aware of that tension and learn how to release that tension. When we're playing the cello, it's very easy to tense up, but I want you to just really be aware of your body. Where is that tension? How can you release that tension while you're holding your cello? So now that we know how to generally hold the cello, we're going to learn how to tune next.